I used to be so obsessed with trying to fix myself, trying to make myself holistic, and balanced, and awakened, and enlightened. And this is the benefit and beauty of, you can say, enough time on this planet where you get to try all these things. Then you come to an authentic, organic understanding of how things work. It's like grace reveals that to you. But you can't get this knowledge from a book or somewhere and think because you have an intellectual grasp on it, it's the same as having realization of it. You just see after a while, after some years or decades, that no matter which technique or which guru you see or which holy shrine you go and visit, that it's not like that's going to get rid of your pain and your mess. I just have to find the right thing out there, and then that's going to get rid of my mess. But I don't know, I couldn't help it. I had to keep trying to do that. And living in the US wasn't big enough, so I had to comb the planet. And then finally, when that life force, when this obsessive desire for spirituality, when that finally like burned out, then there was some space. There was some space to where then grace came in and said, look, this mess, this is the process. This is the alchemy. How can there be any kind of true flowering without the mess? Otherwise you wouldn't know what it was. You wouldn't know what it is. If we were just born here totally balanced and holistic, you wouldn't know you're even balanced and holistic. We have to go through this period of on some level debauchery, so that then we can, our tendencies, spiritual tendencies, will wake up to want to get out of that. And so then the next step is to try to get out of it real hard. See, we try, this is the balance that can't be articulated properly. We have to try, make some effort, at the same time totally turn our results over, because we know we can't. You come to see you can't force this to happen. It's not like you're forcing, if a woman's pregnant, she's like forcing the baby out. She's just, you can do it, just keep pushing. Damn, that would be, I'm glad I'm not a woman. At least that's one reason why. That would be, and then there's some that have them, of course, well, they have multiple babies. Of course, some women, I've seen it on a video, she just reached down, pulled it right out. So it depends on factors. But anyway, that for a lot of women, I had an ex-girlfriend said, no way, not doing it again. Go get my tubes tied. I don't care if it's unnatural to do that. I'm just not gonna have another baby. It's just too much. They're biting my nipples and it's too much. I was like, damn, it sounds like it's too much. So pushing the baby out, that's not how we do this spiritual evolution. It doesn't work like that. Push, push, push. The more you push, the more stress. The more force you put into this, the more it blocks an organic grace from doing something for us that we can't do. You can't do it through effort. But why do we do it? Why do we try so hard then? Because of the pain. We want to get out of the pain, out of the confusion, some of us feel stagnant. I've been trying so long and I'm not making any progress. You can't see the progress. It's like this process, it's the opposite of pushing a baby out. It's more like you plant a seed in the soil. You do the work, you water it, you make sure some sun gets on it, but you chill at the same time. You know that there's a process there taking care of that. This is the same thing. Yeah, I like that analogy. It's the same thing with this process of spiritual evolution. It's like that. But we don't like, because it's natural, there's an inborn tendency to not like pain, to want to get out of the pain. But it's like our instinct to get out of it goes wild. So then we become obsessed with getting out of it, which then causes us more pain, but we don't know it. Because our mind, most people's best friend, the only thing that they know, their mind keeps telling them, you really need to push harder and get out of this pain. Look how much pain you're in. And then we listen to that for a while until we hit bottom. And then a deeper wisdom kicks in. We're like, oh, this is real intelligence. We call that intuition or inner feeling. Then that starts guiding us. And then we trust the process. We just know. Somebody say, well, how do you know? You can't explain how you know. Well, I don't believe you. I know you don't. It's okay. You see, this is how you come to understand these things. You know that you can't explain this to somebody on a mental level because they couldn't explain it to you on a mental level. All you wanted to do is get out of pain. But then later you realize, wait a minute, this pain, all this confusion and this misery, suffering, this was like it was shaping me somehow. It was reorienting. It was giving my whole being like a reorientation. It was necessary because you start to see how strong these ego structures are. So strong, man. This pain and this misery, it's like it's burning because these ego structures need hot fire. This pain and suffering is pretty hot. It starts to burn that. Then you get some humility. And then, just because this is the way evolution's set up, law of evolution, it needs some space. It needs these things to get burned before then it can reveal to you, you can say your deepest nature and real truth. You start to see all that. You're like, oh yeah, there was a reason for that. But then the mind of some people will say, yeah, but why would God do that? You have to answer these questions for yourself. Nobody can answer them because whatever answer they give you, the mind's going to come up with another question. Say, yeah, but well, why this? Why that? It's because the answer's on a different level than your question. They don't match. You can't really answer those things. That's why I don't answer them. But you start to trust this process and really realize what alchemy is. It's a shifting inside that you can't produce with willpower or effort or intelligence. You can't do it. Then you get to where you realize, damn, I can't really do anything, actually. Whatever my habits were and addictions, it's still grace doing that for me. Some things are more tough than others to let go of. But even the things that seem to be easy, like, oh, I used to smoke and now I just put it down. Well, where did you get the idea to put it down? Grace did that too. So that's why I made some videos in the past about, like, do we really have free will if you really break it down? Or is the appearance of free will in our life, so to speak, is that appearance just super strong? The VR equipment and software that we have is so strong, you can't help but just feel like you're doing these things. Yeah, that's why I say paradoxically cooperate with that too. Don't just, deny that like some of these excessive non-dualists. They just deny the level of creation and duality. That's not balanced or holistic. But this is one of the greatest gifts, one of the greatest realizations, is when you realize that this, messy growth, that this is actually where the miracle happens. That it's necessary for the miracle to happen. The dark night of the soul, or night of the year, or night of the decade, or night of the lifetime, if for some, if that don't take place, there can't be a real miracle. Not a real one, not a holistic, deep one. We have to taste ignorance before we can taste wisdom. We have to taste being asleep before we can taste waking up. Like, the two go together. In deep sleep, there's no ignorance or waking up. So if you want to get into what the non-duality is really pointing at, that's what it's pointing to, is there's really no nothing. But it's not like you just, I realize that now, like, I don't take life serious anymore. And no, because remember, the VR equipment's super strong. So it's always both. It's always both. You can say you remind yourself of the non-dual nature of life, while at the same time respect and cooperate with the dualistic nature of life. And then there's some synergy, there's some balance. But one needs some experience also. That's why I made that video. Wisdom isn't learned, it's earned. It takes some time to be on this planet and have sufficient experiences in order to have sufficient realizations, in order to have, you can say, sufficient wisdom, and then to be able to share that with others, those who can assimilate it. You also start to realize most people can't really assimilate what you're sharing, not on the level that you're really trying to convey from. They assimilate it according to their capacity to assimilate it. And some people's capacity is so low, they perceive what you're saying 180 degrees from what you're actually even saying. They perceive the opposite of what you're saying. And then it's funny. You're like, I'm saying the total opposite. Like, what are you talking about? No, man, you said this. I said, oh yeah, I know. I understand. See? So God's life, this life is very diverse, this creation. There's so many different levels of consciousness, and it's all mixed together. And then it's like, good luck. But that's why we're not here so long. You got some people, they haven't had a glimpse or intuitive realization that when you leave this plane, you don't die. You change bodies, you go to other more subtle planes that correspond to your, you can say, more subtle bodies, but you don't die. But those who are afraid, who think they're going to die, they try to stay here like forever. Try to use the medical equipment and operations just to force the body to stay alive. They've gotten pretty good at it too. They got things to keep this thing going, man. But at what expense? Consequences, the side effects of a lot of. I want to sign what's that? DNR. I don't want them to bring me back to life. If I got into a car accident or something and they had to paddle my chest and then bring me back, and now they broke my ribs and now I got to deal with, no, man, when it's time to go, let me go. Just let me go. And put me out here somewhere. I don't want to die in the hospital. I want to I want to be out here, and I want to transition consciously. I want to feel it. All right, God, I can feel it. I can't breathe much now. Okay, cool. Let me just stay conscious. I remember they put me to sleep a couple times when I had to get my tonsils out, and when I was 7, I remember there was something else too. I remember I said, I told the nurse, I said, look, I'm gonna stay awake when you put that mask on. I said, I'm gonna try to, beat it. She was cool. She said, yeah, you can try. I said, all right, I'm gonna try. Yeah, I didn't last. That's some strong stuff, man. But if I can leave you with any kind of hope or inspiration, which is true, it's true inspiration. It's not I'm not giving you a positive affirmation. I'm telling you the truth. You realize that your current messy life isn't going to last. It's the compost for coming into a very authentic scene in a sufficient degree of serenity at some point. When you're feeling messy, when your life looks messy, there's nothing wrong. It looks like there's something wrong. Yeah, you might have to, make some corrections or something. Use common sense, but it means something's right. Everything's always right. Can't trust our feelings so much. Yeah, but it's so terrible. Like, how can it be right? Okay, fast forward, if you could, 1,000 years from now, or look from a higher dimension, and you will see the situation totally different. Something has to intuit that and know that we're not seeing the big picture, ever. Not in this localized form of consciousness. You can't. We're so limited, man. We're so limited. But if something in you knows that gives space to let the unlimited come through more. You start to see how this is a game, and you start to learn kind of how to play it a little bit. It's like you keep getting, use gamer language. You keep getting more cheat codes downloaded to you. You don't want all the cheat codes at once. You just it's like, no, just keep breaking me off when I'm ready, and then this is good. Then you can enjoy the game. You just figure out everything. It's like boring, you know. So I hope that does something for you. If you can hear what I'm saying, more importantly, feel if what I'm saying has any kind of truth to it. You can tell by vibration. If it does, that means you already have this knowledge. And then that vibration, when you hear something true or read something true, it like activates it. It vivifies your own dormant knowledge. This is the benefit of books and videos and satsangs and all those things. I have a couple books out. Autobiography of a Human, and those who also want to preserve your sexual energy, I have a good book on that. The Unspeakable Power of Preserving Your Sexual Energy. Then I have a plant medicine book for all the plant medicine people. I have a couple more books coming out, but they're being edited and proofread. So you can see my website for that if you like. Okay, I think we're good. So you guys take care. I'll see you soon.